My last video, I said that I would do a video with Noel about what it's like to be the partner of the cancer patient.
Yep.
So this is Noel. This is my husband. You may recognize him from other videos of mine or the world. Yeah, we're just gonna have the chats really. Well, yeah. I guess just get you to talk a bit about it.
See where it takes us.
Yeah, and you know, hopefully it'll help other partners to feel a bit more normal. You know, that you're kind of all in it together.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Do you want to start with the diagnosis?
Sure. Yeah, I remember getting in trouble when you rang and told me.
Why did you get in trouble?
Because I was like, I just said, are you joking? And you were sort of like, sensed the tone. And then what did you say? You said, have a think about it and call me back when you have an appropriate response.
Well, I said to you, I mean, what happened was I phoned him and told him I have cancer, and he says, are you joking?
The tone was not like that.
That's the tone. And then I just said to you, well, think about it. I'm driving home. No, I didn't even say call me back. I said when I get home.
Oh yeah, have a response. have your
shit
together by the time
have
I
a better
get
response by the time I get home.
Yeah.
So just tell people what it's like to be the partner of the cancer patient.
It's fine.
Let's just be honest here, okay? Be honest.
No, it's, you know, it's like it's tough, but it's nothing on what it is for you.
I mean, they're two different things.
Yeah, I know they are, obviously. But
you don't need to be afraid to say something, you know?
No, I'm not. You know, everything changed, you know. I'm trying to just deal with day-to-day life while just got a lot harder, you know. So trying to remember everything, trying to remember what drugs you can take or can't take, or when you take them, and when you have to go to the hospital, and then me trying to balance work around that as well. You know, it wasn't easy. Every chemo was different. You know, there's no point in trying to make a plan for the next round of chemo, because you can just throw that plan in the bin, because it was always, you can't base it off the last time, you can't, you know, it was always different.
Yeah.
Always
I think that's
different.
the thing, that you want to be able to make plans and you want to continue life as normal.
Well, some people don't, but I do. I like to have as much
I like to do that
in place as possible.
Yeah, but you can't. You just can't really plan for anything.
No, there's no point. It might make you feel better at the time to make a plan, but
yeah, but I think for me anyway, it makes me feel worse in the end if the plan doesn't go. If things don't go according to plan, then
yeah, true.
So you said about remembering what medication you can take and all of that kind of stuff. That's a big thing as well, especially at the start with the first 4 chemos. I couldn't remember anything for myself or think for myself at all, you know, and it kind of puts, you know, everything needs to be done by you, and if it's not, God help you.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to say that it's hard.
Oh, well, it is hard, but it's not something you can't do. It's not unmanageable. It's just a big adjustment, and it's just about just realizing that this is the new normal is the best thing that you can do, right? Rather than trying to hang on to or try and make your life as normal as it was before. Just this is normal now.
Yeah.
And this is what day-to-day life is like, and you just embrace that and deal with that, rather than trying to make day-to-day life like what it was like before, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing to do in terms of just getting through it, getting on with it. Until you forget something and then you're in the shit house again.
Yeah, well, I mean, just be honest about that as well. I mean, this is because there's people who are watching this who are the partners of somebody who has cancer, and they're probably wondering, is this normal that I feel like this? Because I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if so many people get divorced when one person gets cancer. You're kind of smiling, but yeah.
Everything is your fault. Not your fault, my fault. But that's fine. That's just
everything is as well.
That's all right. You know.
If it rains, it's your fault.
Yeah. And like the amount of pressure and strain on you is like, you know, you need to have a release as well, like to just kind of let out some frustration sometimes.
Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, the
Not
psychological.
that I'm not, like punching bag or something.
Yeah,
that's not what I mean. But you know,
it really it messes with your head. But I mean, I was warned beforehand that chemo does make you kind of nuts. You know, and that you will fly off the handle. People even do it in the supermarket or with people they don't know. You know, and I was warned about that beforehand.
I think it's like you wouldn't be able to deal very well with like if you flew off the handle with someone like in the supermarket, you know, because you'd be fine with it at the time, but then you'd have like so much anxiety and regret about it. Whereas it's easier for someone you know and you can just be like, sorry, and then that person already knows your situation.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like you prefer to talk about it and like be like, this is why this happened and this, like, I'm sorry. You never say sorry, but you know,
I do say sorry. Remember they said, I can't believe you say sorry.
Yeah, it's true. It's savor the sorries. They don't come that often. But like you prefer to just be like, I'm sorry, this is why this happened, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll just get on with it. Whereas I like, or sometimes as well, there's just that kind of silent acknowledgement of like, I was just a bit of a cuckoo bitch. And,
but you're not, I'm allowed to say I was crazy, but you're not allowed to say I was crazy.
No, never.
You're basically living with someone who's been on chemo and menopausal.
But you can never blame it on that either, because that would just make it worse.
Yeah, you can't. Not that that means that you don't. You know, you do say it sometimes.
Yeah, and it doesn't go down well.
Yeah. Just let people know, because there's people out there who probably aren't saying,
oh yeah,
how does he manage not to say it? You know, people who are going through it.
Oh yeah.
You know, so if you say that to your partner, you know, you're not the only one.
Yeah.
And we're all offended by it. What about your feelings? What about your feelings?
We don't talk about those.
I know you don't.
Yeah. I remember going through the start of, like, when you're on AC, very, you know, like, lonely. Because there's, like, I would talk to you about, like, everything that's going on. So when you were kind of, like, almost, like, taking, you know, 2 weeks to get better and then just going and doing it again, there wasn't much communication, like, or interaction between us. So I was, you know, the only people I had to talk to were the kids, sort of, you know. So that was shitty. And then, but then when on the Taxol, you were
a bit more with
much more around, you know, which was good. And that was like great encouragement to see you feeling better, like quicker after it. You know, it's no walk in the park, but it's much better.
I mean, it was really just pain after Taxol.
Yeah, the bone pain. And,
I didn't really have any.
You didn't have the headaches, and you didn't really have the nausea.
Because those other things really just kept me.
Yeah.
Away from. Everything.
You know, sometimes if I like get a minute to myself and I'm thinking about it, like I can make myself like worried or scared about what's going to happen. And usually if I have those kind of thoughts, I come to you and you could talk me down or whatever. But when it's about you, it's hard to bring a thought of fear or worry to you about you, because then it just feels like that'll.
I wish you would.
That would make you feel worse, you know?
Because I'll be honest, it feels like if you never mention being worried or something, then that can make a person think you don't really care. You know?
Because that's happened like so many times where you've said like you haven't even asked, or you know, whatever, but it's not the case. Like it's literally the whole time thinking about you and thinking about the whole situation. So
yeah,
it is important to find that balance between loading too much worry on the person, but then also having them think that you're not even thinking about them. So I haven't found it yet. I'll let you know.
What kind of things do you worry about?
Just like the surgery. Now I guess predominantly is the surgery, because that's just the next thing.
And what are you worrying about the surgery?
Just about like your recovery, you know, how you're gonna do, how you're gonna cope being in hospital for a week, you know.
I hate hospital.
That's, you know, one of the main like focuses is the side effects of having the auxiliary clearance, and I know that you're worried about that, so I'm like big time, and so am I. So, you know, and then your general surgery concerns, you know.
Dying on the operating table, is that what you mean? Yeah?
No, well, yeah.
That's not
just,
going to happen, don't worry.
No, it's not. But you know, you think about these things.
You have said to me before as well, feeling helpless. I mean, I don't think right now, really. Well, maybe, I don't know, but...
Yeah, well, not as much. I think that the helpless feeling is what led me to try and like find out as much, you know, or absorb as much information as I could, even though it didn't really help it very much at all. But it still kind of was a distraction from that, and well, it does help. You know, it helps to know, you know, not to go into an appointment and have no idea what anybody's talking about, or, and to be able to ask questions too, because when you're there getting information, like it's always important to be there for the doctor's appointments, because you'll talk in the weeks leading up about things you want to ask and all this kind of stuff, but then when you're getting flooded with news and new information and stuff, you'll forget to ask sometimes, and then it's good to have another person there who you have gone through everything with, and then they can just fire in some questions that you wanted answered.
Yeah. Even though you can't help when the person is in the throes of it with chemo, or is recovering from surgery, which I had surgery like 2 days ago. When you feel helpless about something like that, what you can do is make sure that those other things are taken care of, you know, which, you know, for example, the organizing of going to the hospital, organizing things, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Especially during chemo, because it's so hard to think straight and make plans and stuff. And I mean, even
know what day it is, like
even now, I read back on notes that I had written, and I thought I really agreed with what that person was saying.
It was yours,
and it was my writing, and I had written it, and I thought, oh yeah, like she's really speaking to me with this. And then I realized it was something that I had written. I got an email about paying tax on my car, and I don't even remember getting that email. It was in February, and I was driving around without tax on my car. It's taxed now, don't arrest me. What about support system?
Well, I have my dad here, who has he's been great help with the kids. The kids love spending time with them. They get really Granddad Owl. It's Granddad Owl, but the kids call him Granddad Owl. It helps to have my dad here because he's so close.
Yes.
Your family is further away. From the way that he's close, he can pick up the kids. Not that they wouldn't, they absolutely would, but it's just handy to have somebody close.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to
physically close.
Yeah, if we are gonna go somewhere, and Devin finishes school at 1:30, and we know we're gonna be back at 2:00, it's easier for us to ask your dad, who lives close by, to have them for half an hour than to ask one of my parents
you're-
to devote
like
basically
drive
their
an hour.
entire day.
Yeah, just to come collect.
Just to
exactly.
have them for half an hour,
Yeah, that's
which
what I
I'm
mean.
sure that I know they
I know
wouldn't
they do
mind.
it, yeah.
They wouldn't mind doing
But,
it.
yeah.
But yeah, in that way, it's very handy. And he's always asking. He's always asking.
Always
you how you're-
phoning.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's helpful. That's nice.
What about changes to my appearance?
Like bothered you so much more than me. It didn't bother me at all. It was nice to be able to like be there with you when you went for your haircuts and everything. But I just that's what you look like now. And that's it. There's no adjustment period or anything, I guess.
Did you get a shock at all?
Like I didn't really. I got a shock like just before you went for your haircut. When there was, on your pillow and stuff when you woke up. I was like, wow, that's like a lot of hair to lose like in a night. But it wasn't. It was just like, wow, that's a lot of hair on your pillow. That was shocking. Like, I was lucky enough to be able to be there for both haircuts, like for when you went short and then when you shaved it. So it's not like I just came home one day from work and there you were. I was there with
Devin came home and I had shaved my head, and it was a shock for him.
Yeah. So I think that would be more like a more shocking scenario to just arrive home and see it rather than to watch it happen. But there was no issue with any of it for me anyway.
I mean, because people told you beforehand, she's gonna look really different.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself for that.
Yeah, that didn't really happen. Like somebody could see you like from like last time they saw you was before, and then they could see you now, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you look really different." But because I see you every day, I don't notice any difference.
Do you remember that time in Tesco, and I was like, "Hi" to that person.
Oh yeah.
Now that
like
I look at
crazy
it,
lady saying hello to me.
She clearly had no idea who I was. But I was walking around the whole of Tesco saying, why was she like that to me? Why was she so mean to me? And obviously had no clue. But to me, I think there's no way you couldn't recognize me.
Yeah, I would say the same.
I think
like, of course you are.
the
Although,
same.
like when it's hard to find you. When like if we go to Penny's or something and we split up and I go to the men's section, you go to the women's section, I'm always finished first. I have to go looking for you, and then I can't find you because like I scan the top of the
When I wear a wig, you mean?
I'd kind of at any time, like I think I still subconsciously like would look for your head of hair.
Oh, wait. Oh.
And I would just be scanning across like the top of the rails.
Yeah.
And it always takes me longer to find you.
Like even last night we were watching a movie with Emily Blunt in it, and I was saying that somebody had said before that they thought that I looked like Emily Blunt, and I stood up and I looked in the mirror and just got such a shock because I was picturing
like, oh my God,
I was like, I look so much like Emily Blunt, I'm all gorgeous, and then I looked in the mirror and just went, oh no, I don't. In my head I picture myself with hair all the time,
Yeah.
And even when I do that thing where I say, I think I look like Kate Middleton.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know actually if it ever happened for you, but I know that it was shocking for my parents to see how sick I would be, and not physically vomiting sick, but where, I mean, the breathing and everything, like when that kind of thing happens. Or
especially
it felt like I was dying.
AC, it was.
And I don't know if that's what it looked like, but I can imagine that is scary.
Yeah, like it is. I think like that's where some of the like helpless feeling comes in as well, because you just see like this, person that you love like in such like a horrible like state, and there's nothing that you can do. You can be like, can I get you water, can I get you tea, can I get you whatever, but it doesn't do anything. And it was more than I thought it would be. I hadn't known truly like what to expect, but I didn't think it would be so much.
Me neither.
Oh
hey,
where's your socks?
oh,
go. Oh, little Papa.
Good night. I mean, I think that one thing that the partners should know is that you think you're doing the right thing, and it's never going to be the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, of course sometimes it is, but when that's happening, that you think, oh, I didn't know I was doing the wrong thing, or I'm really trying here, and it's just not working out for you, it's not you, it's us. Yeah. It's not easy. You know. It's not easy, and nobody's gonna criticize you for saying that. I think that everybody can see that from the outside. Everybody knows that from the outside. They can only imagine, you know.
You okay?
Are we annoying you?
Are we too loud? Here. Lie down there. There you go.
You have to take on more responsibilities and roles, you know. You know, I have seen this before as well, where somebody would be the person, that noise is Ashton. Somebody would be the person who was in charge of bills and finances and that kind of thing. Just, I guess with us, it was that the running of the household was
more you,
was really me.
Yeah.
And it's not that you didn't do things before.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
you were
was just...
you were always the type that did laundry and the dishwasher and that kind of thing. There was a balance in the house and stuff, but yeah, really,
whatever was on your side of the table to deal with, just like all.
Yeah. You know, and that part is, I'm trying to think of it in terms of not just what our issues were, but for anybody, when you have to take on new roles and responsibilities, that in a way you're going to have to learn how
you're not always going to get it right, because it's not stuff that you do all the time, you know, so you have to learn how to, you know, do whatever it is, you know.
And if you have kids, there'll be a time where you have to be mom and dad. You know, we should have done a Q&A thing. I should have asked.
I thought it was gonna. I thought.
No, I mean, I wouldn't have the questions, but I mean, I should have asked people to give questions.
Oh yeah.
That they'd like to ask you.
Well, if there's any quite like parts that we didn't cover, like we can just
ask us.
Yeah.
You can either ask below, or I can put your Instagram on there as well. Okay, we're not.
Sure.
Well, I hope that you found this video useful. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.